Sweet. All right, so let's get this going. We're going to do some low poses, introduction stretching, and yoga, guys. I'm going to find my little spot back here. Oh, and then if a weird little dog comes wandering into the frame, that's my dog Barley. I want to warn everybody because it happened in the last period. He thinks he's a gigantic attack dog, even though he's a tiny little French bulldog. So if the door gets banged on downstairs, or if like somebody locks their car or drives by, or a squirrel sneezes, he just starts barking ridiculously. So I'm sorry if that part like harshes your vibe a little bit, if you know what I mean. All right, cool. So we are going to dive kind of right into this. I hope you have a nice space where you can kind of get arms length apart. You guys are sitting in my living room. Welcome to it. So if you can get a nice stretching area where you at least have some area to move around a little bit, that's about all you're going to need today. We might get a little elongated, but not much. Hopefully you can be distraction free. I get it, phones are near us, all those kind of things, but let's try and keep those away. And then we're just going to begin the practice of yoga. And so normally in our class, we would do a walking stretch. So that would be, we kind of wander around the mat room. I call it different stretches while you guys talk to each other, and we kind of get the yips out from the day. Well, we obviously can't do that walking stretch, so we're going to incorporate stretching into some of our beginning poses as kind of a flow stretch yoga idea today. So away we go. First pose. This is a pose that you can actually use when I ask you to identify poses, or if you ever need a quick one. This is a seated pose. It is very self-explanatory. You are seated on the ground. The sitter muscles in your buns are down. I like to sit cross-legged. It's however it's comfortable for you. I tend to rest my hands kind of up on my knees. If you want it in your lap, on the floor. It's really wherever you want to be. And this is where we'll begin our yoga classes. We're going to begin seated, where we can get our mindset and our breathing kind of dialed in for the practice of the day. So this is kind of where we're able to turn off our thoughts about what's been going on, and we're able to focus in on whatever we're doing for that day. Kind of some modifications for those of you who may have like bad knees or bad hips, or this is just not a super comfortable position for you to be in right now. You can extend a leg out, okay, kind of having a more relaxed out, where maybe that knee is a little more stretched, the blood flow is good in there. Even if you need to be here and seated forward, that's all right too. The big key here is I want you to have a nice, tall, straight spine. Okay, so in that seated pose for me, I'm able to sit up, and I like to get my shoulders back, and you need to envision a string on the top of your head, like it's pulling your head towards the ceiling. And this helps that spine get nice and tall, including the neck. We're reaching the body up, letting the spine do what it's supposed to do, which is support the upright posture of our body. We have this terrible habit, especially if we're on computers all day, of sitting here. So really reach that head up towards the sky, roll the shoulders back, and find yourself in a nice, comfortable, seated position. So in seated pose, we're going to begin to talk a little bit about our breathing. And the idea here is you want to begin to focus on your intake of air, or your breath in, and focus on the feeling of your outtake of air, or your exhale out. Knowing how it feels to inhale and exhale, as weird as that sounds, is incredibly important for our daily yoga practice. We hook and string breath together through our movements, which are going to create that flow. And it also helps your body stretch and move in better ways. So the flexibility part of strength and flex is when we use our breath, we are able to get lower and deeper into our stretches. So every day we will practice breathing, and we will work on dialing that breath and focusing on it. It's also the second piece is going to be it works with our mindset. So as I close my eyes today, this is going to help me get in the moment. I'm going to focus on that breath that I bring in. So everybody take a deep breath in through your nose. As you hit the peak of that inhale, slowly exhale out of your mouth. I want you to take a moment to just kind of notice, how did your body feel as you inhaled, and how does it feel as you exhaled? As you inhale, really open that chest. Here we go again. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your shoulders relax, elongating the neck. We're still reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. We're going to continue to breathe while I kind of give you some hints about the mindfulness part. Part of our breath is to help us focus. As we take that good breath in, think about that breath the whole way through. How does it feel? When's it most intense? Where does it get the biggest? And then as you let your breath out, if you're focusing on that breathing, you're not thinking about other things. How's that breath feel when it comes out? Are my shoulders relaxing? Are my lungs compressing? And we're able to begin to focus on simply the act of breathing. Now, there are going to be distractions. Things are going to pop into your head. Maybe it's assignments you had earlier today, stress you have in life, a sound somebody's making in the other room right now, the weirdness that is that Mr. Reen's just like talking across the computer. I get it. These distractions are going to come. The key and part of our practice that we get to do in Strength and Flex is recognizing those distractions and allowing ourselves or giving ourselves permission for a moment to let them go. So say my dog starts barking. I'll be like, oh, yep, that distracted me from my breathing. Got it. Now I'm going to focus and I'm going to let it go. And I come right back into focusing on my breath. Now, you're not going to be perfect at this right away. I'm far from it. It's a continual practice to help kind of guide your mind and keep you in the moment, like we talked about in the beginning. So oftentimes just thinking about your breath, you'll tend to wander away. So I have one more little hint that we're going to do together now to help you focus on that breathing and simply the act of it. Counting keeps us focused. So we're going to count our breaths. As you breathe in deep in your mind, you're going to say 1. And I say it the whole way through the breath. 1. I know, corny, but it works. And then as you breathe out through your mouth, in your mind, 1. And by focusing on a number, we're trying to keep our mind right there on our breath. So on your own or together, we're going to try to just get to 3. We're just trying to try to get to 3. And as you're doing this breathing, if you have a distraction, note that distraction in your breathing or in your mind. Sorry, note that distraction in your mind. This will be one of our secret questions later. What is something that distracted you during our daily yoga practice? Okay, so here we go. Let's find a nice comfortable position. Reach a nice tall spine. We're going to take a big breath in. On your own, try to get to 3. As you get to that 3rd breath, go ahead and slowly start to open your eyes a little bit. And hopefully now you're feeling a little more calm, finding that breath, and a little in the moment. I want you to take your right arm and I want it to reach out in front of you, okay? Nice and straight, and then you're gonna take it and you're gonna put it right across the front of your chest. Take that left arm and I want you to loop it around your elbow, kind of like you're making a plus sign with your hands. And then you're gonna pull with that left arm, applying a stretch over here in your shoulder or on your deltoid and serratus anterior. So you're gonna give a nice pull with that arm. And relax, let your breath out. So think about your breathing as we do these. I kind of inhale as I bring my arm across, so bring your left arm across. Bring that arm up, and then I exhale. Nice and out, and that exhale, by compressing your lungs and letting your ribs kind of come in, allows you to increase your stretch. Good, go ahead and relax that stretch now. Take that left hand, bring it up above your head, bend it, or sorry, right hand, my bad, y'all. You can switch or stay with the same one. Place it right back behind your neck. Take your left hand, grab the elbow, and pull on that elbow. Now you're not bending, okay? I don't want you guys to make a mistake of bending while you're pulling. Try to keep that spine nice and straight, and just pull the elbow more behind towards the back of your head. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in your tricep behind your arm and out on the back side of that shoulder blade and your lat. And relax. Go as far as you are comfortable with these. Sorry, we got a late admit. Welcome, Emma. Join us. Go as far as you are comfortable with these. Don't push yourself to the point where you're like stretching and hurting. This is to benefit you. Take that left hand this time. Place the left hand in the bottom, or right behind the back of your neck, right at the base of your neck. Grab that elbow, pull. Good, go ahead and let go. Kind of shake it out a little bit. We're gonna get these shoulders nice and loose. That's kind of our next goal. So we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna hold them nice and wide like an airplane. Actually gotta scoot over a little bit because it's smacking my shelf. Nice and wide like an airplane. We're just gonna start some nice tight arm circles. It's not as fast as you possibly can. It's a slow, continuous circle where you're looking to add some depth. A lot of people, when they do them, they'll do them more in the front, okay? And yeah, we're not trying to come forward with them, all right? I want you to open them out, really open that chest up And then as you rotate the arm back, we're elongating behind that kind of plane of our body to really get some good rotations in our delts. Make sure you reverse, go the other way. Good, and then we'll relax. Right shoulder only. We're gonna try and keep your arm as straight as you can. Big rotations with that right shoulder. If you need to bend it a little bit when you come down near the ground, that's okay, but this is encouraging us to keep our spine nice and straight. If you slouch, you're gonna hit the ground a lot. So try and get that spine nice and tall. Big rotations with that shoulder, reverse. Kind of loosen up all those upper joints. Feeling, hopefully you're not feeling too many pops and cracks. All right, switch, let's go to the other side now. Left arm, big shoulder rotation. And let me still correct. See, I'm making a mistake. I'm starting to lean. Try and just keep yourself nice and tall, really focusing on that rotation of the shoulder. Watching yourself do yoga is weird, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, that's a distraction. Oh, big rotation. And reverse, going the other way. Good, all right. Let's shake them out. Next, let's do some shoulder rolls. Okay, process the shoulder rolls. You're bringing your shoulders up to your ears. Roll those shoulder blades back, pinching the shoulders back, pinching the shoulder blades together, and then bring them all the way forward again. So it's just an up and down motion, but it's a nice, big rotation. Getting that ball and socket joint moving quite a bit. Good. All right, relax down a little bit. Now, we're gonna let our chin come down to our chest. We're gonna take a deep breath and we're gonna roll the neck. Bring our left ear to our shoulder. Exhale. Bring that chin back down to the middle. Inhale, roll the other direction. Exhale, bring it back down. This time we're gonna inhale and try to get halfway through a full rotation. You can get all the way up to the top. Exhale. Keep that movement going. Try to slow your stretch down to match your breathing, or for some of you, slow your breathing down to match your stretching. Reverse. None of the stretch or the yoga we will practice is going to be quick or fast. We practice Hatha style yoga, where we just stay holding our poses and increasing our stretches. Take a deep breath. Sit up nice and tall. Good. So, seated pose, couple warm-ups. Let's add another that's gonna happen all the time. Let's add another floor style pose, but we're gonna name this one. It's not just a stretch like rolling the shoulders. So seated pose. Now we're gonna extend a right leg out, okay? In this pose, again, the key, like I talked about at the beginning of all of them, is a nice straight up and down body. Okay, constantly think like, can I pull my string higher? Can I pull my string higher? Because this is gonna help improve your posture as well as it's gonna help strengthen your abdominal core, okay? So I want you sitting in this nice comfortable position with your right leg out and your left leg up, but your left leg is not underneath your knee, it is next to your knee, okay? So modifications, if you need to straighten out a leg because that's uncomfortable, or you need like a slight here, I get that. Sometimes this can be a little harder on the hips. So you're gonna sit up nice and tall, all right? And we're gonna go with a big arm rotation. So we're gonna take a big circle of the arm while we breathe in. So big breath in, and as you get to the top of that arm rotation, exhale, fold forward as far as you can, and grab a toe, okay? Folding forward creates that stretch in our body when we're trying to get looser in the hips, and we're stretching the hamstring a little bit right now. One of the hints I always hear about with this, or I always like to give, is if you can get your toes, push your toe away from your body, which is gonna help increase your stretch. Now, some of you might be right here on your shin. Some of you can only get to here on your knee. That's okay. You need to find the level of flexibility that's appropriate for you. I can reach out for that's okay. What drives me nuts, and I hope some of you aren't doing it right now, is when people are like, okay, and this is their stretch. Put some effort into it. This is gonna help increase the flexibility. So we're all the way out here. Okay, take a deep breath in and raise your body up slightly. Raise the left hand out, exhale. Reach out with both hands as far as you can. And through that exhale, try to get a little lower into your stretch.
This is called single leg stretch. There's a seated variety or single leg pose. There's a seated variety and a standing variety that we will go over later. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale and try to get a little lower. Really reaching out into your stretch. And go ahead and roll the body up a little bit. Good. We should feel that stretch in the hamstring. With single leg stretch, there is a left and a right side to the pose. So switch your feet, come over into the same single leg stretch, but we're doing it opposite side. Nice tall spine. And one of the things I want to talk about folding with the spine, okay? And this is where we can talk about a lot of people when we're doing this stretch are going to be here and they're going to roll that arm through and then they just roll the spine down, okay? Rolling the spine down here is putting a bunch of strain on your boxer muscles right here and the ribs and squishing the guts. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice tall spine, and as you roll that arm, I'm reaching my chest forward, trying to keep the back as flat as I can. So in that movement, my chest is coming forward, my back is staying straight, and I'm trying to fold right here at my hips. Now you're gonna hit a point where you can't anymore, but by bringing those hips forward, we're increasing the mobility in our hip flexors. So instead of just going through the normal motions like you might just go, really work it like big rotation, reaching the chest out towards the knee and grabbing your foot. And you're gonna see an instant benefit where your body's elongating out and you're gonna feel your hips start to open up. Now, I haven't stretched like this in quite a while either, so I'm tight, I'm stiff, but it's gonna come back, especially if you work at it. Inhale, slight raise. Exhale, reach both hands out. Pops and cracks. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale, see if you can get just a little lower. Into your single leg pose. All right, and relax. Good, so now we're gonna take both legs, and we're gonna stick both legs out in front. And this is called a full fold, okay? So you can call it a full, that's a mouthful. Full fold pose, okay? And really what that means is you're taking your body and you are folding it in half. There's a half fold, which is a standing pose. We'll get to that later. But in full fold, you're gonna take both arms, big rotation, nice tall spine, exhale out, and same thing we talked about. Reach that chest forward, reach out to the feet, squeeze the feet and push with the toes. As you let that breath out, feel yourself get a little lower. Hold this stretch, and with each exhale, try to get yourself down a little lower. One more time, deep breath in. And for those of you who wonder what it might look like sideways, and go ahead and slowly inhale, rolling the spine up, getting it nice and straight again. All right, next pose we're gonna go over is our butterfly pose. Drawing the feet up to the body, you want the bottoms of your feet placed together. I think one of the things I'm learning about video is it's hard to see my feet when I wear dark socks, so I'm gonna need lighter socks if you wanna see feet position. But draw your feet close together, and then you wanna pull your heels back towards your body. You wanna get those heels as close to your groin as you can, because that's what we're trying to work on in our butterfly pose, okay? So I'm gonna bring my heels back a little bit. I like to put my hands kind of on my feet while I get used to this pose, and I get myself kind of settled into it. And then it's a big inhale, sitting up nice and tall in our butterfly. Now we're gonna slide our hands to your ankle or your shin. This allows our elbow to line up with our knee, and you're gonna press against your knees with your elbows, slightly bending at the hips. Same idea, don't just round the spine down. Everything we're doing that involves bending is a reach, so that's elongate the spine, reach the chest forward. And then now my elbows are gonna press against my knees, and we're gonna hold butterfly pose. Don't flap, okay? This is a static stretch, meaning you're just gonna hold it continuously, letting gravity and the little bit of force you're putting on your legs open up those hips, and especially open up your inner hip flexors Stretch out those nice groin muscles in there. If you've ever torn a groin or strained a groin, very, very painful. So getting a good stretch and getting some hip and flex mobility, it's going to help you guys out a lot. And then go ahead and relax, okay? Now, the second half of our butterfly pose. Butterfly pose can be done seated up like this, a regular butterfly pose, or there is a laying butterfly pose where we lay backwards. We'll cover laying butterfly probably later. I'm just trying to get as many poses out there in the world as I can. Okay, so now you're gonna take your hands underneath your feet. You are going to inhale, reach that spine nice and tall. And again, you're going to fold at the hips. And you should be able to notice in the video, it might seem like I'm coming forward. And the reason is my spine is straight. As I come into my pose, I straighten the spine and I reach my chest forward, reach my chest forward, reach my chest forward until I cannot keep my spine straight anymore. And then I'm going to begin to fold my spine down and roll my head towards my feet. Go as far as you're comfortable. If you can only get to about here and you know you're not going anymore, then you can kind of roll that upper spine and begin your stretch. So just for a minute, take a deep breath, nice and tall if you haven't already, and hold that butterfly stretch or butterfly pose. Inhale, roll the spine back up. Take a nice exhale, and we're going to come back to seated pose. Take a nice deep breath in seated pose. Some of you may be sweaty a little bit, and that's okay. This is supposed to be movement and sweating. Some of you may think this is just an everyday, I'm doing really well, which is perfect. We're going to take a couple minutes. We're just going to breathe a little bit right now. Again, focus on what your distractions are. Try to get to 3 if you can. Go ahead and slowly open your eyes. So I'm going to show you from the side some of our lower poses. You're going to slowly extend your feet out in front. Feet are out in front, spine is nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, get the spine a little taller. Raise your hands up, stack your fingers, point your thumbs, and you're going to slowly exhale, rolling the spine back. Now, we were talking about straight spines. Now I want you to round it just slightly. And as you're rolling that body down, if you got to put your hands down for support, that's okay. Begin to put your spine on the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, until you are slowly getting to a point where you are laying flat on your back. Take a deep breath and just let yourself kind of relax a little bit. I hope you can still see me. Yes, you can. You are going to inhale. Raise your left knee in the air. Wrap your hands around the outside of that left knee. Exhale and squeeze that left knee to your chest. Okay? It's like you're trying to put your knee up in your armpit. Okay? So you're squeezing that knee nice and tight. You are pointing the other toe. I know it's hard to see my foot, but this toe, pointing it away from your body. This stretch is called half wind maker. And yes, it is called that because it increases digestion. Exhale, release your grip, extend that foot out in front. Inhale, raise the right knee, wrap your arms around the outside of the right knee, and squeeze that right knee nice and tight to the chest. Half wind maker. Exhale, release your grip just slightly, but then inhale, bring the left knee up as well. Scoot forward on my mat here a little bit. You're gonna wrap both arms around the outsides of your knees and squeeze your knees nice and tight to the chest. Come down here, see how much I can kind of get myself in a ball. You're gonna squeeze nice and tight. And you can slowly rock front to back if you'd like. This is called full wind maker. Exhale and squeeze just a little tighter. We're gonna exhale, extend your feet out in front. I got scoot up in my living room here. Allow yourself to come to your back and lay your palms up, hands on the floor. Our last pose that we're gonna get today is usually everybody's absolute favorite, relaxation pose. Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale out. We're gonna take a shorter amount of time than we normally would in relaxation pose, but eventually this is gonna be how we end class. We will end our class in relaxation pose. You can all stay laying down right now. I'm gonna sit up to chat. Relaxation pose is our finisher, and you should all be focusing on that breath in and that breath out right now as you're laying in your relaxation pose. While you breathe in and out, I want you to note any distractions that come into your mind. If they're negative distractions, I want you to give yourself permission to let them go for the next 3 minutes. Taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Focus on where you are right now. Focus on being in the moment and the feeling of that breath in your body. As you breathe in, try to think about something positive. Try to think about something that's been good in your life over the last couple of weeks. I know for some that's a stretch. For some you might find something right away. Find something good, whatever. It could be something as a show you liked, a person you saw, a moment you had, something you experienced. Hold on to that for a moment. Focus on that positive while you breathe. And then as you exhale, allow yourself permission to get rid of anything that's a negative. Okay, stress, anger, frustration, sadness. Doesn't mean you won't experience that emotion again, but giving ourselves permission to spend time in the day away from those emotions is essential for some good mental health and some positive health, and just filling your body up with some good while letting yourself be okay with not thinking about stressors for just a moment. So you have about 2 minutes. Take a deep breath in. I'm gonna give you some quiet. Deep breath out. And focus on something positive in your life. Okay, guys, wherever you're at, why don't you go ahead and slowly sit up. Okay, kind of get yourself back into a seated position or something that's comfortable, and we're gonna kind of come back to the moment. I hope this went okay. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're with me with the live class right now, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk a minute. I'm gonna stop the recording. But this was rad. Think about the poses we got today, just as a quick review for those of you who are new. Seated pose, single leg fold, full fold, butterfly pose, half wind maker, full wind maker, and relaxation pose, okay? So we got, what is it, 8 poses, 7 poses? So each day we're gonna add a group of poses when we're gonna go back over our other poses. We're gonna add different types of stretching in as we go too. I'm gonna take it slow, but I enjoy that you guys are here.